Okay, if you're going to use a loop pedal for your HSC performance, there's a few really important things to take note of. A loop pedal can be a really powerful tool to help you express your musicality, but it can also put you in a box and stop you from expressing all the things that you could express. So there's a few simple rules that you really need to take care of when you're looping. The first thing I'll say is that it's really easy to get locked into one particular loop and have a very monolithic sort of sound that doesn't evolve and doesn't change in dynamics. So you need to be really careful of that and think of creative ways to do your looping so that you're not stuck in that one particularly dynamic sound, but also you can get stuck harmonically in a particular box. So that's something to be really aware of with your arrangement. You're not going to approach a song, someone else's song that you're playing, you're not going to approach it in the same way. You're going to have to do your interpretation of that song and really work really hard to stay out of those boxes that can get easily so stuck into. So the first thing I want to talk about when we're laying a loop down is your timing. Your timing has to be impeccable for your looping. If you don't have perfect timing, then the mistake of the timing is going to be repeated for the whole song, and it's not just one mistake that you've made at one point in the song, it's from the beginning to the end, it's going to be there. So I'll give you an example. If I did something like a percussive loop on the guitar, that's like a little bit off, that's terrible. Let's try it again. I'll try and get a little bit closer, but I won't come in exactly on time. It's not going to be workable. I've got to get that first point right back exactly on the start. I'll try and nail it this time. Here, even there's a little glitch at the beginning. So part of your rehearsing a piece is trying to get that, whatever it is, whether it's a percussive loop like that or whether you're playing some chords. So now I've got let's turn that down a little bit. I've got my first loop that I've laid down there. Fairly much in time. Overdub over it. Now the second thing I wanted to talk about, I'm just going to stop that for a second. The second thing I wanted to talk about is your dynamics. So when you lay a loop upon loop, you're adding to the overall volume of the song. So if you keep adding at the same dynamic, first of all, each layer is going to get lost within another layer, and then you're also adding to the noise of the piece. So we've got that first one there. I'm going to add the second loop, but there's two things I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust the dynamic level. I'm also going to adjust the tone of my instrument so that I'm not just playing the same sort of tone and the same sort of dynamic range. Have a listen. So I'm going to shoot to the back pickup on my guitar, and I'm going to have a guitar pick. So now it stands out really clearly from that rounder warmer. I've messed that one up already. So it just goes to show how important it is to get your layers exactly right every time. You can't sort of go back in time and fix them up. Yeah, so that was a different dynamic level and a different tone that we're using. So we're going to do that one again, see if we can get that one laid down perfectly.
got 2 layers going, slightly different tones that we're using with each of those. And let's have a look at a different section now. So I've got this looper set up. I need to change the setting on there so that I can go for longer than 1 bar on the 3rd loop. The other thing I want to say before I come back to that, I'm just going to clear this loop. You need to be careful with the volume of your loop compared to the volume of the music that you're playing. So at the moment my guitar and my loop is about the same volume. If I had that one up too loud, what you'd find is I'd have, so if I laid a loop, let's clear that one first, laid my first loop, it would be out of time with the second one. Let's try again. If I laid my first loop, that's a fair bit louder than the input that I was putting in, and so the rest of my guitar playing can get lost in that first loop.